So we're going to start our NFL training camp series. Well, not really training camp, just NFL preview series, I guess you could call it.
Yeah.
Getting ready for the season. We're like 60 days.
We usually do this every year.
Yeah. I think we're like 60 days away. Like, I don't know the exact date of the season, but it usually starts that first week of September, last week of August.
We're getting close is the point. Fantasy stuff is coming up. These guys are reporting to camp. Preseason's right around the corner. So by the time we get all these, it'll be time for the season to start anyway.
Yeah. Which is perfect timing.
Yeah. So we're going to do the AFC East today. Let's do the Bills first, just so we kind of go in order here. I just looked it up. They're minus 225 favorites to win the AFC East. About a 2-1 chance. I think that's probably accurate. I think they're probably heavy favorites. The Von Miller acquisition makes them a lot better on the defensive end. Their offensive line's kind of a mess. But more so than anything, I think the James Cook thing is kind of an X factor for them. This is a team that couldn't run the ball at all. If he can really get going and take some pressure off of Josh Allen, I think they legitimately can win the Super Bowl.
So, I mean, as far as their offensive line is concerned, I feel like that, like, obviously that's always a concern when it comes to, like, throwing the ball. But at the same time, like, Josh Allen's hard to fucking tackle.
Yes, he is.
Like, I mean, he gets a lot of comparisons like Big Ben, but honestly, I think he's harder to tackle than Big Ben is.
I'm with you.
Prime, I feel like tackling him is like tackling prime Cam Newton. He's more of an athlete than Big Ben is. Like he's big body, but he's got wiggle. Like he can move.
If you go through all my old draft notes on Josh Allen, I use the Cam Newton comparison a lot because he is hard to tackle, and he's not just hard to tackle. That fucker can run. He's a solid 4.7 guy. Like you're not just catching him either. He's a big body and he's fast too.
Well, and I think that we talk about his athleticism. Like, remember that he hurdled. Who was it? Anthony Barr. Like his rookie year. Like I always think about that play. Mm-hmm. Like, when's the last time you saw a quarterback like out there hurdling people, and not just hurdling people, hurdling a linebacker as good as Anthony Barr is.
Yeah, I know most people don't agree with me on this. I'll happily argue with it any day of the week. I don't think there's a quarterback in the entire league I'd rather have.
No, Joe Burrow, no?
I mean, you can make a lot of cases for Joe Burrow and other guys, Patrick Mahomes, obviously, but the upside of Allen, I don't think he's done getting better. There's nobody with more arm strength than him. There's nobody harder to tackle than him. There's nobody who's a bigger body than him. If he just kind of puts everything all together and he's doing it more and more each year, I don't think there's a guy I'd rather have.
Would have been Super Bowl champs if it wasn't for overtime against Patrick Mahomes.
Like his physical upside, I just don't know who I'd rather pick.
I don't know. That's a tough choice because he's like really good and like it would be him or Joe Burrow.
He's young too. He's not done getting better.
Yeah. If I was starting
two years ago, everyone blasted him because he wasn't accurate enough.
Yeah, and then they got better wide receivers and they got some talent around him.
He's an alien. He's not close to being done getting better. Like the work that he does every year with Jordan Palmer, you can see the progression in his game every single year. He takes leaps upon leaps every year you see him.
He made Zay Jones good.
He did make Zay Jones good.
Yeah, I don't know.
I think that they're only adding more help for him too. Why can't I think? Gabriel Davis. He's only going to get better too. He's a young receiver that's kind of just starting to find his footing too. If you had another weapon along with Diggs and he's a reliable target, I can't imagine the offensive upside that they have, especially if James Cook is able to help them right away. Because their running game last year is about as bad as it gets.
Do you think that James Cook is going to take over the number one running back spot over Singletary?
I hope so. His receiving upside is there already. As a receiver, he's definitely the best receiving running back option that they have. It's a matter of is he a 200 carry guy right out of the chute as a rookie? That's probably the question.
If he's replacing anybody, he's replacing Singletary. he's not replacing Zach Moss's role, but Zach Moss just needs to stay healthy.
Yeah.
Like,
Zach Moss is your short yardage guy. He'll be your short yardage guy.
Do I even still have him on my team in fantasy? I don't even remember.
No, I do.
Okay, yeah, that's right. Oh, I traded him to you, didn't I?
Yeah, I said I'd trade him back to you because I don't have enough roster spots.
That's right.
Yeah.
I gotta set my fantasy. I gotta do my. I got a lot to do with fantasy. I don't even remember who's on my team. I haven't looked at it.
You're in trouble, Chad. You got Hopkins suspended. You got Watson who's going to get suspended. You got some work to do.
Not yet. He's not suspended yet. And you know what? They said if he does get suspended, he's going to do that thing where you can sue or get like a restraining order on the NFL, and then it postpones the suspension. So
they said if he's suspended for a year, he's going to do that.
We'll see what happens. I mean, I don't know. We'll see what happens. Like, I feel like I'm strong enough where I could eke out a few wins. And then when Hopkins and Watson come back, I feel like I'll be all right. But it depends on how long they're suspended for. If he's suspended for, the year, I don't know. I'll have to play it by ear because I don't know. When he sues the league, then he'll be able to play. I don't know how long that'll last because Zeke went into like week 8 when he sued the league. So who knows?
Yeah. We can look at that stuff when we do our fantasy episode, but I only have one more thing to add on the Bills. I think the Von Miller acquisition is important, but more importantly, I really like their first-round pick of Kaiir Elam. Tre'Davious White has been kind of their savior at cornerback. He's their only real corner they have. Teams know it, and they don't really target him. They do everything in their power to target the opposite side of the field. I think Kaiir Elam's pretty good. He was really good at Florida. His athletic ceiling is pretty high. Remember his brother? I freaked out when they drafted his brother Matt Elam with the Ravens. He's way better than Matt Elam with the Ravens. If you look at some of the interviews he did at the combine, they're all over the internet. It's really impressive stuff. If he can be like a true number 2 corner, I think this Bills defense takes a huge leap. I really think like today I am picking the Buffalo Bills to win the Super Bowl. I truly believe in them.
Oh, I don't know if I'm there on the Super Bowl just yet.
Okay.
I know they'll definitely win the division, and I would say they'll more than likely going to end up back in the championship game. I'll give you that. I don't know if I'm ready to say they'll go to the Super Bowl just yet. Because like I said, even as hard as Josh Allen is to tackle, I mean, that offensive line, like we talk about, like,
that's their biggest problem.
Devin Singletary couldn't get going, but how much of that was because, they didn't have an offensive line to block for the guy? Like, James Cook can be as good as he wants, but if he's getting tackled 7 yards in the backfield as soon as he takes the handoff, like that doesn't matter. Like you're not going to be able to do anything with the ball.
That is definitely the weakest hole in their roster. There's no question about it.
Like I can usually name at least one lineman for like each team. I couldn't give you one for the Bills. I couldn't. Like normally I could give you one at least.
Well, they did make two good additions. Mitch Morse, he used to play for Kansas City, be their starting center this year. That was a good one. And they picked up Roger Saffold. Used to play for the Titans. He's a pretty good player, so that'll help. But they still – right tackle is a problem. Deion Dawkins is a pretty good left tackle, but I would say it's probably a B minus offensive line.
Deion Dawkins, that's one. Yeah,
Deion Dawkins is pretty good. Deion Dawkins is good. The rest of their guys are hit and miss.
All right. So I guess we're moving on.
Who would you pick as Buffalo's primary threat in the division?
In the division?
Yeah.
I don't know. I it's hard because I feel like it's Buffalo's up here, and then
that's what I'm saying. Like Buffalo's roster is so good. Like even their safeties, Jordan Poyer and Micah Hyde. Who's got a better safety tandem than them? Their roster is really good.
I feel like they're second, like whoever's second best is like the next guy, number 3. They're not far off. Like they might even.
And can I give you a sleeper on Buffalo? I don't know if he'll even make an impact, and I probably wouldn't bet on it happening. But having OJ Howard as your backup tight end, I mean, what are the chances that he pops and figures it out?
Well, he was okay.
Yeah, he was okay, and didn't really get his opportunity, and there was a lot of tight ends there in Tampa.
And I think part of it, too, isn't not necessarily that he was bad. Not necessarily that O.J. Howard was bad when he was with Tampa, but it's like they brought in Gronk, and, like, you're not gonna bench Brady's boy for fucking O.J. Howard. Like, that's not happening.
Yeah.
Like a future Hall of Famer.
What if he's good?
Tom Brady's best friend. Like he's not getting benched.
What if OJ Howard's good? We already know he can block. What if he's actually good?
I think he is good.
Do you think he's going to be better than Knox?
No.
Do you think he's going to surpass Knox?
No, I don't. But having a guy like that as your second tight end, that stuff adds up.
Yeah.
Yeah, I honestly I think OJ Howard's a good player. I just think like he had like 1 year in Tampa and then Brady was there, Gronk was there. Like we never got to see the guy play. Like he had 1 year in Tampa.
He was hurt last year.
First year he was hurt, wasn't he? And then second year
he was hurt last year too.
Yeah, so like first year he was hurt. Second year he did pretty good for a guy playing in the NFL.
I'm just saying it's an X factor to watch. Like if that guy helps you, I mean it's another thing that adds up. So
yeah.